let's bring him in here. Coach, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I was looking at your guys' schedule. What a heck of a season you guys have had. I mean, big wins against teams like Canfield, and I believe I saw Boardman and other teams on there as well. But what has been the mindset this whole season, keys of the season, just to keep your guys rolling?
Just competition. I think you nailed it there. We're just trying
Yeah.
to play as many good teams as we can and try to get our guys ready to go for the tournament run. Obviously, being D1 this year changes things for us a little bit, but we want to make sure our kids are ready to go. We're not in a league. Obviously, we're independent, so it gives us some flexibility in who we play. And as you said, Canfield being one of the top teams, Alliance also in the D2
Mentor.
tournament, but we're also able to play down in the battle 614 in Columbus, a really good Grove City team. We were able to beat Menor in the Hardwood Classic, and then we won the KSA tournament down in Florida against a prep school in Pleasant Grove, Utah. So a lot of good competitions. I feel like we played 4 seasons, to be quite honest with you, already going into the tournament. But I think it prepares our kids for, even though we got a tournament win the other night, we weren't at our best, and we still found a way to grind out a win and move on to the district, and that's what this program has done over the last few years.
Yes, yeah, you guys put off that 50-42 win over Solon, right? And Solon coming in at they're that 500 team. When they're there deep in the tournament like that, they're gonna push everything to try and keep going. So you're gonna get that's when you get the best of the teams, no matter what their record is. You're gonna get the best of teams playing there. You're gonna get their best effort, and you guys just hang in there. And like you said, you guys have been everywhere. You guys been down in Florida. You played Menor. You played other teams, and that is really a huge benefit for you guys, because in this tournament, you never know where you're going to end up going. I mean, different places as well, and you guys got to go to, where were you guys going? To Cuyahoga Falls next, right? To play Walsh.
No, we're going. Yeah, well, we're playing Cuyahoga Falls Walsh Jesuit.
Yeah.
And we're playing at Euclid. Yeah, on Thursday.
So that's going to be something there. I mean, what do you guys got to do? Walsh, Jesuit, a very good team. What do you guys got to do just to keep rolling? Like you've got this. I mean, they're a tough team, but you guys have played and beat tough teams on the season.
Right.
So it's just, you just add, do you treat it like just any other game, or are you going to have like a different approach to it?
Yeah, I mean, going back to the Solon concept, Solon plays a really good schedule, and a lot of times, I think as basketball fans, you need to look at who you play instead of necessarily, which coaches do all the time, instead of record and things of that sort. So it's kind of double-edged sword here. We're really happy with being obviously 19-4. That's a tremendous year coming off the 20-7 year last year, but it's more about who we beat and the competition that we faced. And, our losses being against Division I teams like McKinley and Grove City and Perry and teams like that really help us. Even though they're losses, it really helps us get ready for these types of teams. And you go into a team like Walsh Jesuit, they've beat St. Ignatius, they've beat St. Vincent St. Mary this year. And we have a lot of like opponents as well. They're very similar to us. We prep for them, and anyone differently than others. The Solon was more of a wide open 5-out team where we had to really be cautious of their penetration, their kicks for shots. They had a lot of unique players. They were very well coached. Walsh Jesuit's the same way. When you look at the 3 district semifinals right now, and you have matchups like, Menor versus Nordonia, or Glen Oak versus Hoban, or Jackson versus Green, or Brush versus St. V's, you don't in D1, you don't get to the district and think that you're going to have any type of cakewalk. So, it's the team that's in front of us. And, we just want to keep, our first goal was to get to March. March 2nd is our district semi. And now our goal is to get to the weekend. Our kids will be ready. They prepare, they compete like no other. And I know, win or lose, Leopard Nation's going to see everything that we have, and our kids give everything they have every time they step on the floor.
Yes, most definitely. And, I'm looking at your losses right now to like Grove City and McKinley and Perry. They're not by a lot.
No,
The farthest one was McKinley, and I mean that's only 76-67. You guys
right.
went down. I mean the Perry game was 58-54, and the Grove City game was 53-51. So
Right.
you guys are in close games no matter what. Like
Yeah.
going through even with your losses. So like in my idea, like that's a good loss. Like
Yeah.
you
We had
came in,
we
you
had
gave them
those
their best. So
3 of those 4 losses were last possession losses.
yeah,
The Grove City, they banked in a 3 at the buzzer in regulation and put it overtime and beat us at the buzzer. The Perry came down to last possession. Our first 2 losses were the first 2 games of the year. We started off 0-2 and then rattled off about 11 or 12 in a row. And then if you look at the Hoover game, we were at the free throw line under 30 seconds to go, down 2. So, at the end of the day, we've given ourselves a chance to win in every single game. And I believe going into this last tournament game, we were number 3 in the state of Ohio in point differential with our win. So our guys have had a great year, but I know them. We were in the Elite 8 last year.
yep,
There's something to prove still. Obviously, people, you can look at it 2 ways. You could say, man, I really wish we were in D2 still.
yep.
Or you can look at it as a challenge and say, okay, we did that last year. Let's see what we can do this year in D1. And that's the way our guys are viewing this.
Yes, most definitely, most definitely. The change from D2 to D1 is very difficult, and to be as good as you guys are in your first year of being in D1, that's just awesome by itself. Now you guys are making a little bit of a run, and you're going up against these tough teams, and doesn't matter where you went, where you play, or who you're facing. Um, Anybody has a chance to win and lose. Before you came on, I was talking about big upsets, like I brought up the NC State Wolfpack team and
Oh
even
yeah.
Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how unfavored you are, you're there. I mean, you guys aren't, I really don't see you guys as unfavored. You guys are a dynamite type of team. But if anybody unfavors you in any way, you just got to think about those. Like, hey, like those
You
guys,
you must
especially
you must
NC State.
You must have been
Huh?
reading about the Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, because I feel like you're way too young to remember that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
impressed.
Like
I'm
I'm the only
impressed.
23 years old. I was just I was clicking through yesterday
Yeah.
on actually Disney Plus, and I saw the 42-1 documentary. Like, oh, I
Oh
know
yeah.
about this,
Yeah.
so I
That
watched
was
it.
it was real late in the night, I remember, and I woke up in the morning,
Yeah,
couldn't believe it because Mike Tyson just,
yeah,
barely ever go out of the first couple rounds. But
yeah,
yeah, you're absolutely right. It's one of those things where you can't really pick. We're one of the smallest D1 schools in the state of Ohio, and it doesn't really matter. Somebody's got to be, I guess. There's always got to be
yeah,
somebody at the bottom. And we prepared ourselves for this with our schedule. I think we played 17 D1 teams this year, something like that. Um,
yep,
and we did this. I don't know, about 4 years ago, I think it was. We had about a 4 to 6 year stretch where we were D1, and we had a couple 20-4 and 19-5 teams those years, and lost in the district semi to Warren Harding in
yeah.
overtime. So we've been there, done that before, and like I said, I'm just proud of the program, proud of last 10 years we're averaging 17 wins a year, and can't really do anything more. You got to go out there and make shots, and if they go, you win. If they don't, unfortunately, sometimes you lose. So
Yes, most definitely. And to go to a place like Cuyahoga Falls, I mean, there's a lot of history in that gym. I'm
mhm.
pretty sure that Bobby Knight was a coach there at one point. So
He could have been. Yeah,
I
I'm not
think
sure about that.
so.
I know
I think it's
he started in Orville. I know that, but
yeah,
he might have been a Falls too. I'm not sure.
I think so. But
Yeah.
we got a guy that keeps commenting here, Julius C. Roth. I don't know if you know this guy, but better coaching is what you need to do, and that's something you got always got to keep in mind going into these games. But I know you shared the link, so I don't know if you know that guy or not. But
No.
no, but um, the way this season has been going for you, it's like what are the main goals for you guys? What accomplishments do you want to leave? Stuff like that.
Just to go as far as we can
Yep.
into the district and try to give our kids a chance to win each and every week. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's as basic as it gets. It sounds basic, but I mean, it's hard to do just to keep, that 1-0 mindset every week coming in, like, clear everything away, focus on this. I've in certain situations when you're going into something, if you have a burden in your head or weight on your shoulders, you just leave it at the door, and
Right.
focus on what you have to do. Has there been anything like that? Any outside stuff that, like, oh, you're worried about and you just got to leave it behind? Anything like that? Anything that could be getting in your guys' heads at all?
No, no, not at
Yeah.
all. We're good, and I think our kids are in a good place right now, and
Yeah.
should be good moving forward. I think our kids are really moving in the right direction.
That's good. That's real good to be in that situation. So, another question I like to ask everybody on here, um, the number one thing you got to do in these games, you got to have fun. Now,
Yep.
have your guys been having fun? Have you done anything interesting during practice or anything? Any fun traditional stuff? Like anything like that? Any routines or anything that goes
No,
on?
I mean,
Just
we
focus
try
routine stuff.
we try to have team meals, things like
Yeah.
that. Try to get
Okay.
together and do fun things like that. But overall, just trying to keep it light in practice. This time of the year, it's kind of tough because it's such a grind, and we
Okay.
have to do a better job of just kind of keeping their legs ready to go, and that's about it.
That's the way to be. Is there a specific like routine or anything that you guys follow? Like, you do this thing, this, and this in practice or anything? Because
Now, this time of the year, we go about an hour and a half, and then
okay,
a couple days before, we usually start watching
film.
film and things of that sort. But overall, just kind of keeping it light and making sure the guys are in a good place when it's time to play.
Yes, and that's the way to keep it. I mean, I see like only an hour and a half. You don't want to push your guys too much. You know what they have to do. They come in. I like that quick workout idea. You just an hour and a half, and then you study watching film. Has there been like anybody on your team that you obviously you got your standouts, but has there been anybody that has stepped up to the table a little bit more in this playoff run, or they've all
Um,
just been there playing hard the whole season?
yeah, I mean, we've relied heavily on Will Aljancic as our leader and Hayden Nigro, a junior. And then we have a crop of sophomores that have really
Yeah.
contributed a lot. Really too many to name. And then, our other captain is a senior, Charlie Roberts, does a
Mhm.
great job. And we have five seniors that, whenever their time's called, or if it's, supporting or leading or whatever, they all do a great job of kind of helping the team out however they have to.
Yeah, and that's a great way to be. You got all
Mhm.
your guys, backing up uh themselves and stuff like that. If one guy is down or anything like that, they pick each other up. So I really like that. Do you what about like your coaching staff? Like you got a good group of guys there if you want to talk about that, like the stuff you guys have went through. I always like to ask about that coaching staff.
Yeah, our coaching staff's been together for a while. They're great guys. They give a lot of their time. Obviously, help break down film. All of them, for the most part, have played here, came through, and some in the private sector, some in the school. So, it's a dedication thing for them to put that much time in, and especially this time of the year, going and scouting late at night and trying to do different things like that. But they're a very special group, and definitely we do everything as a team and try to prepare the kids the best we can for the games coming up.
So a couple more questions for you. Before we get you off here, I know you have
Mhm.
tight schedule, stuff like that. I
Yeah.
understand that, but has there been anything that you've been doing differently, like changing anything up, to prepare for other teams? Like they run a certain defense that the offense we've been running may not work with, or anything like that.
We try to balance the concept of changing to adapt to other teams, and also understanding that sometimes we want teams to change because of us. So if we feel like there's something that a team does that's very, very strong, very potent, we try to take that away as much as possible. But at the same time, we don't want to give in to the things that we do well. So we have to kind of weigh the options of what teams do and maybe make little minor adjustments here and there. But overall, we're doing a lot of the same things, maybe adding some new wrinkles to plays and things like that. But overall, kind of trying to keep things the same, and making sure the guys feel comfortable when going in with the game plan.
Yeah, and I like that as well. That sounds very balanced in the way you do things, like, maybe a little little crack here and there, like just to
Right.
things up. But a team that can stick with the same thing all year, I really like that. Not too many changes. You don't want to I don't want to say confuse your guys too much, but you don't want to break their rhythm from this
Absolutely. No, you're
from what they're
definitely right
doing.
on that. Yep.
Yeah. So I really like that. And, going into this next game, you guys are going to watch all your film and everything like that. You're going to do everything to prepare. But when you start that game, the nerves are any nerves going to be kicking just a little bit? Do you guys have problems with that? Because I have seen teams that I've called like that first quarter, they got to just break the nerves a little bit. Or do your guys just go right to work?
Yeah, I think just with their familiarity with the tournament last year and with our
Yeah.
deep run last year, I think that helps them. So going into these games, they've already kind of been there, done that. We have a lot of guys coming back from last year, so they feel very comfortable. We didn't play our best basketball the other night by any means, but they were able to do enough to win. And I think a lot of that was just because they had been there, done that before.
Yes, and that been there, done that before. Like you got a lot of guys like that. Now, you got is there any freshmen on your team that get playing time?
There are no freshmen, just a lot of sophomores, and then a lot of seniors. And then we have the one junior in Hayden Nigro.
So you got a team that's had a lot of tournament play experience. Like,
Mhm.
do you feel really good about that? Like all your guys have experience playing
Yeah,
in deep into the tournament. Like, how do
yeah.
you feel about that? Like,
Going into the tournament last year, we had a couple freshmen, a sophomore, some inexperience there, and we were
yeah,
able to make a run. It was hard. First couple rounds, they were really good games, very good opponents, but we were able to make a run. And what's nice this year is those guys are all now a year older,
yeah,
and they went through those games. And people talk about what it's like, but even as a coach, until you go through it, you don't really know because it's a different atmosphere when you're playing deep into March. It's a different atmosphere and
yeah.
different struggles to get wins and keep advancing.
Yeah, and I know the March, like people always refer to the NCAA tournament as March Madness, but I consider this as March Madness too.
Hmm.
Teams even in February, like it's madness. Like it just gets into March, and then that's when you can call it March Madness. But because it goes together. But it's just madness all around here. You got teams losing here or winning there. Like you don't know who's going to do this and that.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
know if you've been keeping up with that at all, but have you? If you have, do you kind of correlate that into what you do as a coach? Like, hey, look at this team, look what they did. Look at that run. That'd be nice for us to get there, or anything
Yeah,
like
you're
that.
always making connections for the players because I feel like the players sometimes, if you can make connections about how other teams did this or did that, or maybe this team didn't come out ready to go and look what happened to them, it definitely gives the kids some reference point because the season's so long. I mean, we started before Thanksgiving break, and you're all the way here now in March, so you're going to have some letdowns. You're going to have games where you don't play your best, and you want to make sure you try to keep that low from going too low and
Mhm.
kind of stay at that even keel the whole way.
Yes, most definitely. And let's talk about the jump from. I want to talk about this real quick, but the jump from D2 to D1, has that had any effect on you? I know you guys aren't in your conference. You're an independent, so you can go out and play whoever you want. And you guys built that with the schedule. But did that have any effect right away? I mean, it doesn't look like it. I mean, you guys had a great season, and with that Division One, and to switch and have a great season right away in a new division. But that's on paper. Anything behind the scenes that people had to
Um,
deal with, like, oh no, we gotta switch this. Anything like
yeah.
that at all? Any
No, I mean,
problems?
it's just a matter of finding games and scheduling 22 games where before you have built-in games in your league. So obviously scheduling, my athletic director Terry Horn and I work well together in getting
Mhm.
the games scheduled and trying to get a balance of home and away, weekend games. Make sure they're not too many in one week. And so far, it's gone really well. A lot of scouting. Normally if you're in a league, you might not have to scout as much because you
Yeah.
kind of know the team the second time through,
Yeah.
but when you're playing 22 different teams, obviously there's a lot of scouting and it can be, a little lengthy in drives and things like that. When you're playing Grove City, to see them, I like to see teams live, not just on tape. And you got to go to Columbus. Now obviously we didn't scout the Utah team or anything like that, but
Yeah.
we still have to spend a lot of time. So like when we were in Florida, we played back to back to back. So we'd play a game and literally watch film on the other team that we were playing the next day that night and do the same thing the third night. So that stuff can be a lot, but overall the kids have really adapted. It makes them grow up as a basketball player, and it's gone really well so far. So yeah, there's definitely some obstacles, but I
Yes.
feel like we've handled them pretty well.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like it. I mean that sounds like a lot of work. Like even
Yeah.
the back to back to back games and like the scheduling conflicts. I'm sure you probably ran through some stuff like, oh,
Mhm.
we got to find a game now. And if you find a game and you only have 3 days to prepare for it,
Right.
like that's very difficult to do. And I don't know if you guys have had to do that this year, but like to do that is like, and to come out and win that game when you've only had 3 days to prepare for it, like that's just amazing at itself. But Coach, I want to thank you for coming on here and
For
talking
sure.
with me. I'm going to keep watching you guys as you go on in your tournament run, and hopefully we can have you come back on here and
For sure.
talk about like who you playing next or how
Yeah.
far you are. But thank you and good luck on the way. All right.
Appreciate it and appreciate YSN. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Yep. Have a good day, Coach.
Take care.